Hi, so it is about 15 minutes away from 6 in the morning where I am, but I couldn't sleep. I tried very, very hard, and I just couldn't. And you know why? Like, some days it's just like, the regular insomnia, right? Sometimes I just be up. But tonight, I couldn't sleep, and the reason I couldn't sleep is because I was irritated. And I was irritated because I don't understand. I don't understand what people want in media, what people want in a story. And like, I know this is like, how sometimes you hear someone say something and it gets like a certain amount of support and you're like, but how? But why? I feel like I'm seeing a lot of that. Specifically, like in the land of anime, because that's where my specific annoyance has come from, that is culminated in this rant today, right now. You see, as of late, I have been seeing within like the anime community on, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter. Oh my gosh, on Twitter, right? So many of these hot takes about how such and such is good character, such and such is a bad character. And I really don't care what anybody's opinion is on something like that, as long as they can verbally express why they feel that way. Like, we can all agree to disagree at the end of the day, because sometimes there's just going to be characters that I can resonate with that someone else can't, and vice versa, right? So things like that are just going to happen. I like different things, I have different values, and that goes for other people. And so sometimes, based off of how a certain character acts, people are going to react differently. I understand that. Simply, I just ask that you can, like, put some kind of weight behind what you're saying. Like, an ounce, And that's just, it's just gone now. It's gone, before I tried to go to sleep tonight, I saw, like, multiple threads, and, like, one of the world's, like, longest threads, about the Jujutsu Kaisen character, and it just crazy to me. It was just crazy. So basically, someone was arguing, multiple people were arguing that the main character of Jujutsu Kaisen, they were arguing that he sucks. And their reasoning is that, like, yeah, technically he's fine, but he's already strong, he's already coordinated, he's popular, he can make friends, she's well socially acclimated, like, they're saying basically that Yuji doesn't need to be the main character, because, like, why should he be? He's a sucky main character because he has so many things going for him. And I just, that's not how main characters work. Like, like, if someone said, oh, I don't feel like they've endeared him enough, which of course that wouldn't apply to this character, or, I don't feel like he's been fleshed out enough, it, complaints like that can criticism like that, I can understand something like that when someone says something like that about a character, because a character missing those things, like, yeah, okay, you're right. This character in comparison to this character is not as well written, it's not as fleshed out. But main characters aren't chosen on a basis of who has the saddest backstory. That's just not how it's done. And I I understand that people have seen the Narutos and what have you, but that's not a measurement of what makes a good main character. And the thing is, it's not the first time I've seen something like that where someone's like, "Oh, this character sucks because their life is great," or "This character sucks because they're just so perfect. They're just so good looking, or they're just so athletic." Or and it's like, we have stories about the underdog. It's a great take on something. It's a great genre. It's a nice way to shed light on the type of person who you don't usually see, you know, on the main, right? But it's not an underdone thing. It's not a disregarded trope, right? Like, and the reason I've been getting mad is because I've been seeing people basically say that those people, like, it, that should never be the case. And it's like, I enjoy my Kaneki Kins, and I enjoy my Kaneki Kins, right? I enjoy my Naruto Uzumakis. I enjoy my, Edward Elric's. Some people, they have it tough. They're coming from below the gutter, and they are clawing their way up in this world. They're working, they're fighting the good fight. You know, they just, the world's against them, everything's against them, and they are on their way up. And that's great. I love to see it, love to watch it, love to hear it. But every story doesn't have to be that. Like, and maybe it's that I'm just looking at the wrong groups of people, but I just feel like it has to be said that, like, I don't I don't need to be devastated every time I go out to watch a piece of media. Everybody doesn't have to be the butt of the joke. Everybody doesn't have to have dead parents. Everybody doesn't have to have this huge, like, heart-numbing trauma that just, like, has them gripped at the soul. Do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes I want to watch a story where there's a person who's just enjoying their life, when there's a person who just wants to do the good things because doing the good things is nice to do, when there's a person who just wants to help out. Sometimes I want to see the people who have regular friends. Sometimes I want to see the people who, they like to eat cake and they like to watch anime, or, maybe they're an athlete, but I don't know, they love to sing children's songs. Whatever the combo is. Like, stories exist by the hundreds of thousands. There's so many different ways you can tell a story, because there's so many different ways people can be. So that means there's so many different ways you can write a character, and then on top of that, there's so many different ways you can express that character so that they come across to the audience. And every single character, one, does not have to be someone that specifically connects to you on a personal level. I think that in and of itself needs to be talked about and expanded upon a little bit more, because I think far too many people are taking the idea of connecting with a character and thinking like, this has to be someone who would be my personal best friend, the person I would always root for, the person I would root for the most. Like, like, you know, you should be rooting for the main character, but the main character is not always your best friend. That's not how always how it's gonna be. Like, there are some shows where I'm like, yeah, I love this show, I love this character. Um, in real life, would we be friends? Would we vibe like that? Maybe not. Not always. Not always, and that's okay. Like, all I'm asking is that when people, when if you're gonna come for a character, if you're gonna go after a character, like have actual reasoning. Just where like where's the common sense? I don't see it anymore. It's gone. And it's not just with Jujutsu Kaisen, because in Jujutsu Kaisen it's just like, it's that new hot thing. And I know in like a few months, a year or so, some of that will die down because people will stop, wanting to complain about it just because it's new and popular. Because, people were doing like similar things like a year ago to Demon Slayer. He's like, oh, but Tanjiro is he's so nice. Why does he want to save the demon every single time? Like dang, I I'm not saying you have to agree with everything the character does, but like, on some level, you have to understand that characters are supposed to be written like people, and people have different convictions. I don't like it's. Am I crazy? Is that like, is it is that a difficult concept? I do not think so. I don't. And it's just like, how did we get here? How did we get here? I don't know. And the reason I think the reason it makes me so mad is because, one, here I go counting off numbers again, and not, I'm gonna actually try to finish the count. One, I've met, artists. I know artists, whether it be somebody who writes or somebody who draws, and people make characters and they make designs, and for a reason. And again, constructive criticism should always be welcome, right? Of course. But if your criticism is not constructive, then it is pointless. Two, sometimes people do this thing where they like try and make it sound constructive while also just going after something for a really specific personal reason. And I'm here to tell you that it wasn't made for you. And again, I'm saying, back to that first point, if it's a constructive piece of criticism that you feel would actually truly, help the work, then like, okay. But if it's just like, oh, well, I just feel like I would like it better if the main character was a little bit more of a loser, or if they suffered this big tragedy, or if they were a woman instead of a man. It's like now you're kind of you now you're asking for a different character. You're just asking for a different character. You're asking for a different story, right? Because this a main character is a pivotal point of his story. I think we can all agree to that. And if you change the main character, the story changes. That's just how it works. Okay? Doesn't uh Jujutsu Kaisen without Yuji Itadori as he is, it doesn't exist. You know, when you change these things, you're it's not this little tweak. You're creating a new character. And um and that brings me on to my third point. I Fanon I have no problem with. I have no problem with if you're just like, man, I like the story and I like the character, but if this was my story and this was my character, I would take them in kind of this direction. That is okay. It's perfectly fine. And the reason I'm actually throwing that in there, even though it seems kind of like a loose connection, is because on the topic of other things, or things that also were irritating me and keep me up at night, is I've been seeing so many things related to people being mad in a similar vein that I am, but they're mad at people who do, they go on fan Twitter, fan spaces, and they want to act out their little fanon things, and people are mad about it. They're like, they would never really do that, and it's like, they know. They know. They know. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Are there a few that don't? Yes, but they're like 13. Like, let them have that. If they think that Yuji would be better if, he was, I don't know, the world's biggest strawberry ice cream stand, and he climbs to the top of whatever soapbox he can find just to advocate for more strawberry ice cream. Sure, it's random. Sure, it doesn't make sense. Move past it. I guess what it all comes down to is, for me, I'm somebody, I get a lot of joy and fun, excitement in my life from anime, and as a byproduct of anime, the anime fan community, and I would like people to stop raining on my parade, I guess. I just, I, I, I don't want it. And really it goes both ways. Like, I get it. I get it. I understand what it's like when you see a character and the character is just not everything that you think that character could be or should be. But you still have to accept the character as they are, like, because that is how they are, you know? I want it to be that, like, if we're gonna be fighting it out in the comments, if we're gonna be making these long Twitter threads, if we're gonna be making these TikToks about these things, can we at least have the words to back up our thoughts, our opinions, our ideas? Can we do that? Can we come together as a community and say, hey, like, let's at least elaborate on why we feel this way. Like, I don't I don't I don't care if this is the 700th time that you have went on a rant about why you don't like Naruto Sakura. I don't care if you want to tell me again how you think Bleach could be better, or how you think it went on for too long, or it ended too early. Um, I don't care if you want to give me a three-page long essay about why you think K-On! Is the greatest anime ever. Just as long as you can, like, articulate your opinion, that's fine. That's fine. It's fine. Because you have your opinion and I have my opinion. But all I ask is that you explain. That's all. Because why else are you putting your opinion out there on the internet if you don't want to elaborate why you feel this way? I don't understand. But I think that's it. I think I'm done. I think I can, like, end it here, and I can, like, go to sleep now, because I think that's it. Okay. Bye.